G'day guys, Mick here. This week's 5-minute yarn is going to be a carry-on from last fortnight's. This one is about solo camping again, but this one is for all of you that have never been solo camping and worry about, are you going to feel safe? Are you going to feel comfortable? You know, and don't get me wrong, it's a completely and utterly normal feeling. I know when I first went solo camping, I was worried. I heard noises and I had some yahoos in the area wanting to carry on a bit and be dickheads and whatnot, and I didn't feel the safest. You know, it's my first time solo camping, first time completely and utterly on my own. But I kept a little bit of security of some sort next to the bed in the tent with me at the time, and you know, that sort of got me through the night. Just that little bit of security. It's not that you plan to use it for anything, it's just that you've got something there in case something does go down. And look, I've never had to use any form of security when I've been camping. I've never had an issue. But when you're first off and you're sort of going out there for the first few times on your own, you're hearing noises and things like that, and you know, we've all seen movies like Wolf Creek and things like that, so you're thinking to yourself, shit, is there somebody coming? Is something going to happen? Am I going to get robbed? Or is somebody going to come and stab me? Is it a wild boar or something like that that's going to rip through my camp and friggin' tear me to shreds? Or, you know, things like that. We all have these thoughts. And it's only human nature. If you've never been solo camping before, it's human nature and you're going to get it. So some sort of security next to your bed at night really comes in handy. And something I started doing after getting the pads was, you know, as you know, I started sleeping in the car, and I used to lock the doors. I don't anymore, but I used to lock the doors, and that's another form of security. Even my first time up in the Pines campground in the Wattigans, you know, you've seen that video, or may have seen that video, it's way back. But even my first time up in the Pines, I locked the doors. You know, I had a knife next to my bed. I'm not condoning using knives, I'm not condoning using them as a weapon, but it's a bit of security, and it's something to help bring your comfort levels up a bit, you know, and take that fear away. And yeah, again, I locked all the doors. I closed it all up, I locked all the doors, and I locked myself in the car. And I felt safer. My bigger concern was waking up in the morning and finding things nicked. But nothing happened, thank God. And I've never had an issue when I've been solo camping. But for those that have never been out, that have never done any form of solo camping themselves, take something. A knife, a bat, a big bloody chunk of wood that you find around a campsite. You know, just have something laying there next to you in bed. So if you hear something, you've got something just to relieve those fears a little bit. Again, I'm not condoning using weapons and things like that in the heat of the moment, but again, it's just literally, it is one of those things that will help you to relax. Other tips for solo camping. Personally, I was more concerned solo camping in the Pines than I was solo camping in the middle of nowhere or away from everyone else. I'm more anxious, so to speak, about camping around other people when I'm solo than I am about camping completely and utterly on my own. Because when I'm on my own, there's not as many noises. You don't have people. You don't know that there's people just over here making a racket. You don't have them, sort of thing. And if you do hear something, there's a much greater chance that it's just an animal. But it's not to say that the fear doesn't come through every now and again, and you sort of think to yourself, oh shit, hang on, what was that? Is that someone here? And another thing I do in the car in particular is I keep the lights on the outside, but I have the switch on the inside. So if I'm hearing noises and I'm a bit concerned, I can turn the lights on from the inside and I can peek out from inside the car where I can't actually be seen because it's dark inside the car. but I can peek out from inside the car and I've got that light shining around the car. So I can sort of see if there's anything there from the safety of the car. Same deal if you're in a tent swag or something like that. If you can keep lights there, especially if you've got remote controlled ones or something, and you've got a gazebo or whatever it might be, or just lights running across the bottom of the swag, you know, you can sort of lift it up and the canvas bit up a little bit, and you can just flick that light and you can still see what's going on. You still be relatively safe if there is an animal or something like that around. And just simply turning those lights on, if somebody, for example, is hanging around, simply turning those lights on, they're like security lights at home. Turning them lights on, people are going to be like, oh shit, somebody there, somebody's awake, I'm scooting off. So things like that, guys. Keep some security next to you for your first few times. Eventually you get to the point you don't need it. Keep some lights where you can turn them on from the comfort of your own bed, preferably, and have that bit of added security like a security light at home. Be able to turn them on and stay comfortable and safe. And yeah, it will deter a lot of animals having a light all of a sudden come on, and it will deter most people as well. So alright guys, take care, peace, and I'll see you on the tracks.